rising, good morning, whatever time of day it is you're watching me. Welcome to Revolution Sundays. I had to catch myself there with yours truly, Dr. A.G. Green Sr. You know what to do. Tag and share, share and tag. Tag and share, share and tag. Let people know that we're on the air. Bring them into this digital space with us on today. This digital and yet spiritual conclave gathering. So honored and privileged to be with you, and you. Make sure you speak as you come into this gathering. Tag, share, and text, tag, and share on this particular morning. Come on, let's pray. Almighty, we are so thankful and grateful for this moment that has been crafted, I believe, and created within you eons ago, before there was a who, when, where, before there was a physical dimension. There was always us in you, attached to you, one with you. We thank you for these golden moments. Speak to us, guide us, lead us. Thank you that we are reverberating, vibrating the frequency, truth, abundance, love, peace, joy. We are elevating. You're healing by revealing. We just thank you today. We thank you for all things. Your will is done with us. It's done in us. It's done through us. Thank you today. In Yeshua's name, His way, His power, His consciousness is so. And so it is. So glad to see you on this particular morning. Come on, tag and share. Share and tag. Tag and share. Share and tag. What a wonderful, wonderful day it is. I'm stringing earlier today because, as I stated on Wednesday night, I have a in-person speaking engagement. I don't take many of those, but this was somebody, well, uh, who, frankly, I guess I should say, in some respects, needs is not just a desire. I think it's more of a spiritual mandate in terms of where he and his church are. And so I'm going over there as soon as I get off here. Your forgiveness, I was supposed to be on about 10 minutes ago, and I had some things happen this morning that I had to do that delayed my schedule a little bit. But nevertheless, here I am. We are going to condense our presentation today, but I always like to remind you that you are the offspring of a dynamic, powerful, all powerful spiritual being. And therefore, the power is in you. The power is a part of you. The power is one with you. You, by no stretch of the imagination, are weak or impotent, but you are powerful. I want you to type in the comment section and speak it out loud. I am powerful. Come on, type it in the comment section. I am powerful. Come on, type in the comment section. I am powerful. I am powerful. I am powerful. Come on now. Embrace the power. Know the power. Own the power. Yes, yes. Be the power. Type it in the comment section. I am powerful because you are. By permission, you are powerful. The Almighty has granted and delegated wonderful authority to us to know that we know that we know that we are a powerful spiritual species, powerful spirit beings. There we go. We're going to walk in it. We're going to flow in it. We're going to embrace it. I am powerful. I am so excited and delighted to own the power and to know the power. Let me know if you can see and hear me well. Let me know if you can see and hear me well. There's a particular light I forgot to cut on. Rushing to get on this morning. Let me know if you can see and hear me well. Let me know if you can see and hear me well. Again, I am excited and delighted to be with you. Let's own the power. Let's flow in the power. Let's know the power. Yes, thank you all for coming in and speaking as you come into this wonderful, wonderful digital space on this particular day. All right, thank you for your feedback. on this moment. Appreciate you, appreciate you, appreciate you. Listen, let's quickly get into the announcement for today, and then I'm going to move into our presentation on this morning. Again, let's greet people as we see them on YouTube or Facebook coming into our digital space today. Let us greet them on today. All right? Wonderful. Let's hear the announcements.
Hey family, thanks so much for joining our spiritual community today. Before we get started with that amazing teaching that we all look forward to, here are a few announcements. On February 4th, 2025, which is right around the corner, the Divine You podcast with A.G. Green will launch on all major platforms. Are you ready to tap into your divine potential and live the life you've always dreamed of? Join Dr. A.G. Green on the Divine You podcast, where wisdom meets inspiration to empower your journey to greatness. New episodes drop every Tuesday at 10 a.m., so make sure you set those alarms. Available on Spotify, YouTube, Apple Podcasts, and more. Each week, Dr. Green dives deep into transformative topics, offering practical tools and spiritual insights to help you align with your highest self. Don't just exist, live divinely. Join our spiritual community, Revolution Inc., on Patreon. Make sure you secure your membership and tune in weekly. We're preparing to move most of our program there this year, so please take the time to visit patreon.com/aggreennow. That's patreon.com/aggreennow. There's more. Check in daily for new posts, videos, and more. Every dollar you give here helps support A.G. Green and A.G. Green Now. We're expanding and we're growing to serve a larger audience with the message of love, faith, and hope. Your gifts co-manifest vision with us. Use the giving apps and donate today. Be sure to visit Divine Species Shop at payhip.com/Divine Species. There you'll find many wonderful things to enhance your spiritual and mental experience. Visit today and level up your life. The aggreen.com website is up. It's officially launched. The new online hub for AG Green is active and ready for visitors. This site will help you stay current with everything that's happening in our spiritual community. You stay connected with powerful and insightful tools to help you evolve, transform, and ascend. Make sure you visit today and check it weekly for updates. This is something you don't want to miss. Once again, family, thanks so much for joining us today. I hope you look forward to this amazing teaching.
Thank you so much, Ms. Hillary, for those announcements today. And we ask that you would consider everything that has been shared with you on today. Visit those various websites. And yes, the new podcast is already dropped. If you want to watch it on Spotify, go to theaggreen.com. And the last page on that website now has the latest episode of the podcast. I'll add some more links in other places where you can also listen. Right now, it's just audio. And in a couple of months, then I will be releasing a video version to YouTube as well. So we appreciate you for your love and for your support on this particular day. Now, listen, I have to do a condensed version because I'm doing an in-person service for somebody today. I plan on putting that link up on this Facebook page. So if you want to check us out there, make sure that you visit the AG Green Now page on Facebook. I will be at my brother's church, my little spiritual brother's church on today, Good of Glory. And again, this is what I consider to be an assignment. I've been saying no more than I have yes for in-person engagements, but I sensed the urgency when I was asked, and I sensed the assignment, so I'm going to do that on today. All right, let me check in on you real quickly. What are you eating and sipping? What are you eating and sipping? Let me know what you're eating and sipping. All right. Let me know what you're eating and sipping on right now. Let me know what you're eating and sipping and how you're doing. And after that, I'm going to take a few minutes and teach. Then I'm going to get off here, run out the door, walk out the door, and head over to an in-person service where I'm a guest speaker today. Let me know what you're eating and sipping real quickly. What are you eating and sipping? What are you eating and sipping? Talk back to me real quickly. I have some my one of my usuals. I have some. I think this is a French roast coffee with what kind of cream? French vanilla cream in it. I think I pretty much use the rest of it. That's what I'm sipping on today. What are you eating and sipping on? Real quick, talk back to me. Let me know what are you eating and sipping on today. Just curious. And of course, let us know how you're doing. Remember, your opinion about how you're doing is a subjective one. How you doing? That's how you feel you're doing. Let's see. My Crystal says doing just fine this morning, eating French toast and bacon with my cup of coffee on the side. Sounds delicious. Sounds delicious. Anybody else want to share this morning? What are you eating and sipping and how you doing? Let's see. Here we go with Vivian Drumroll. Red velvet coffee and French vanilla creamer. Sounds delicious. Sounds like a dessert. And running on a good night's rest, 8 granola bar. Wonderful, wonderful. And then let's see, resident therapist here, Pastor Cotton, lemon water, apple cider vinegar, slightly challenging me, but I've overcome it. I'm still very peaceful. Wonderful, wonderful, wonderful. Thank you so much for sharing with me today and sharing with our audience what you're eating and sipping and exactly kind of how you're doing by your own evaluation and what you are thinking. All right, listen, let's get right into the teaching on today. I started out a series, looked like Andrew was putting his up right quick, apple cider vinegar and lemon water. Awesomeness, awesomeness. Y'all got some healthy stuff too in y'all cups today, I see. Y'all got some healthy stuff in y'all cups on today. Now, can anybody remember, we're going to Proverbs 23:7a, and let's see, Mark 9:23. Can anybody remember what the subject was last week? Can anybody remember what the subject was last week? Real quickly. And my assistants are going to put up these texts for us, Proverbs 23:7a and Mark 9:23. Anybody remember what my title was from last week? Let's see if you remember. Anybody going to remember what the title was last week? Let's see who's paying attention here. Let's see. Come back to me before I put it up on the screen. Do you remember? Do you remember? Talk to me. Love y'all so dearly. Anybody remember? Take note. Take a notepad or your digital notepad and type this stuff in your notepad if you don't put it on a physical one. Take notes when you hear. I always do that even today if I'm watching certain videos or, of course, taking classes naturally. I always like to take notes, even though my memory is very good. I still like to take notes. Memory retention is much greater when you use hand to pen, to paper, pencil to paper, physical writing. And then, of course, after that is digital typing. But going once, going twice, I should say. Nobody wants to tell a brother. Nobody acts like they remember. Okay. We're talking for a few minutes about mastering thoughts and habits, and this is part 2 of mastering thoughts and habits. Mastering thoughts and habits. All right. This is part 2 to mastering thoughts and habits. All right. Give you a little bit of an update. Let's look at the thematic text real quickly here. Real quickly. Thematic text I'm waiting on. Well, I'm saying I'm waiting, but they're up. I'm actually on another screen. For as he thinketh in his heart, so is he. Eat and drink, saith he to thee. But his heart is not with thee. The morsel which thou hast eaten shall thou vomit up and lose thy sweet words. All right. And I think that's the NIV and King James Version. For as he thinketh in his heart, so is he. Eat and drink, saith he to thee. But his heart is not with thee. The morsel which thou hast eaten shalt thou vomit up and lose thy sweet words. Wonderful, wonderful, wonderful. And then here's the King James in 9:23. Yeshua said unto him, if thou canst believe, all things are possible to him that believe. Anyone else? Anyone else? And while this other scripture is being prepared to be put up, 9 and 23 in the NIV, I have a pretty interesting message I'm going to be uh, propagating this morning. I'm going to put the link up. I think you're going to want to watch it because I think it's going to appeal. It's a message that's, I think, will resonate with everybody, but I think it's also for a certain demographic of people who are in certain seasons in their lives. All right. I'm sure the NIV version will come up here shortly from Miss Hillary. I want to just revisit a few things I said with you concerning you or to you last week. And I just want to remind you that a new year requires a new mind. Type it in the comment section. A new year requires a new mind. A new year requires a new mind. Type it in the comment section for me. A new year requires a new mind. I want to quote from the great James Allen, who again wrote a book called As a Man Thinketh. It's a powerful book. He says, all that a man achieves and all that he fails to achieve is the direct result of his own thoughts. End quote. Again, thoughts like these appear to be controversial, especially to religious folk who live according to certain religious texts. And let me talk to religious folk who live according to religious texts, who believe that their text is the supreme truth. I want you to understand that even in you being dedicated to a text as the highest form of truth, that particular text will not work without your faith. It will not work without your thoughts. I'm going to say it again. It will not work without your thoughts. If it's working in your life, whoever it is, whatever it is, it's because you believe it works. It's because you think it works. That's why it's working. So we are discussing this because we've turned the calendar year and people want a new year. They do want a new year. But you're going to have a new chronological year, but you're not going to have a new year as it relates to the reality that you live. I want you to hear me real clearly. I'm all for the tongues. I'm all for the running. I'm all for the exuberance, the emotional exuberant experience that we have. But when that's all said and done, your life, the quality of your life, is going to be lived based on what you think. The quality of the relationship you have with the Creator is going to be lived based on what you think. The quality of the relationships you have with people is going to be lived based on what you think. And the quality of the relationship you have with yourself is going to be lived, family, based on what you think, which, of course, I'm talking about what you believe. It's as simple as that. Thoughts determine behavior. What we do. Thoughts changes emotions, what we feel and are motivated to believe. Thoughts influence even the immune system. Negative thoughts, pessimistic thoughts, thoughts of sickness, thoughts of sadness. It's been proven compromises your immune system. I have been sharing this with people for years. This is you can find this stuff on the internet. And I first heard a neuroscientist say this, how every cell in our body responds to our thoughts. And after I heard her say it, I started hearing other people say it. I want you to understand that. This is how it influences health. And we'll get maybe down in, as we progress through the year, maybe I'll do some more contoured teaching on that. Thoughts forges character. It shapes character. Whatever character you are, whatever character you are in this world, however you show up in this world is based on your thoughts. It shapes attitudes. It shapes positive and negative mindsets. It's all about thoughts. And last but not least, it forms spirituality. I wrote a book years ago called Why Faith, Your Guide to Surviving and Thriving in Tough Times. And one of the chapters, I explain to people that there is no good absorption of theology without good psychology, and vice versa. With my mind, Paul said, I serve the Lord. So you can't get around thoughts. You can't get around thoughts. But at the same time, because thoughts dictate what we do or the behavior that we practice consistently is considered to be a habit. The definition of a habit is an acquired behavior pattern regularly followed until it has become almost involuntary. Until it has become almost involuntary. So again, behavior practices are based on thinking practices. I want you to type in the comment section, I think, therefore I do. I know one of the ancient philosophers said, I think, therefore I am. But we're going to twist it up today. We're going to change it up. I think, therefore I do. Type that in the comment section. I think, therefore I do. I think, therefore I do. I think, therefore I do. I want you to understand you're doing what you're thinking. You're doing what you're thinking. Even if an emotional stimulus has moved you to a behavior, your mind is going to execute or give permission to the body to follow through. I want you to hear me. You are in control of your mind. You are in control of your thoughts. And if you're challenged with that for biological reasons or for reasons of trauma, then it is time to seek out some kind of professional help. And there's no shame in that. But you are in control. That's the way God, the creator, the source, the sustainer, has designed for it to be. It is also considered to be a customary practice or use. That's what a habit is. So all the stuff you're doing daily, you're doing it pretty much based on a pattern of thinking, a cyclical pattern of thoughts. Some people call it a paradigm, a mindset, rudimentary mental blocks, mental concepts, or schemata. Again, I quoted from the great Stephen Covey, who wrote New York Times bestsellers list, 7 Habits of Highly Effective People. He says, because they are consistent, often unconscious patterns, they constantly, daily express our character and produce our effectiveness or ineffectiveness, end quote. And I'm saying to you, and I've been saying it for a while, and eventually some of y'all going to catch on. The inability to change behavior, the inability or the constant barrage of challenging change in your heart and in your mind is not coming from outside of you. I need you to stop blaming the devil. I need you to stop blaming other people. It is merely you who have not mastered your thoughts yet. The devil messed with me. That's why I cussed him out. The devil messed with me. He made me think this, or this thought came to my mind. What you don't understand is that you are a dichotomy. There's a part of you that thinks good thoughts, as well as there's a part of you that thinks bad thoughts. There's a part of you that wants to change. There's another part of you that doesn't want to change. For example, if you're trying to break a habit, I want you to understand that the part of you, the neural pathways that have been formed in your brain, and the mind that has been conditioned to do certain things, that's going to be the part of you that resists you when it's time to change. Hear me. Sometimes this voice you're hearing that you think is attributed to another spirit being is you. It is the part of you that is rebelling and defying change. It is saying, I want to eat at midnight. It is saying, I want to have multiple sex partners. It is saying to you, I want to do this. I want to do that. It's you. You haven't mastered that part. We're all slaves to our appetite. It's the part of you that's saying, I don't want to give up this rage. I don't want to give up this anger. I don't want to give up this protective mechanism. This is all I know. This is how I've operated for years, and it resists change. This is not to be attributed to anyone else but you. I want you to hear me. Proverbs 21:5. I'm almost done. Thoughts, plans of the diligent. I shared this text last week. I'm going to share it again. Diligence means steady, earnest, and persistent. The thoughts, the plans of the diligent, the steady, the earnest, the persistent, tend only to plenteousness, which means gain or profit. So people who are profitable, people who are successful because of the kind of thoughts that they have, family. As he thinketh in his heart, so is he. You are a product of your core beliefs. You are a product of your thinking. If you're thinking poverty, if you're thinking I'm barely getting by, if you're thinking I'm old and there's certain things I'm not supposed to be able to do, or certain things I'm not supposed to be able to accomplish, those unproductive, negative, limiting thoughts are manifesting in your life right now. And it is nobody but you who's responsible for it. I want you to hear me. But everyone that is hasty means that's hurry, only to want, meaning that you're going to end up in lack or need. The reason why this is the case is because, again, there has been no diligence in your calculation or premeditation or your pre-examination before you go into a situation. There has been no intent, watch this, not to just count up the cost or consider what you're about to engage in, but there's also no masterful intent to decide how you want an outcome to be. Again, before I wake up in the morning, most days I am going to meditate about how my day is. Did you hear me? I am going to create what my day is before I start the day. We are too busy rushing, watch this, with a set of thoughts that's not going to serve us, instead of us pausing to say, okay, what is it that I desire? What outcome am I looking for? And how can I prepare this properly? How can I prepare myself? And then how can I prepare other things in my life to line up with vision? People rush headlong into it with an idea. They rush headlong into it with a feeling or an emotion. And this is something I'm going to say, and I'm going to move forward. There are a lot of things, not a lot of things. Most everything we do, we've got to be premeditated. I'm going to say it again. Most everything we do, we've got to be premeditative. All right. You've got to meditate not just on God, but God has permitted, the Almighty, the Creator, the Source and Sustainer, has created you to co-manifest your world. You have to put some thought into it, what you desire, and then believe that. Stop rushing into business deals. Stop rushing into making choices. Stop rushing through relationships. Relationships require a process in both people. Use the power, the inner power that the Almighty has granted you, and create within yourself first. And then you'll see what you've created inwardly start playing out in your behavior and the behavior of the world that you consider to be external to you. Let's look at the SV. The plans of the diligent lead surely to abundance, but everyone who is hasty comes only to poverty. The Amplified Bible. The plans of the diligent lead surely to abundance and advantage, but everyone who acts in haste comes surely to poverty, end quote. So our thoughts and images are states of consciousness and awareness. These states are dimensions of conscious reality from which we create. So you are creating from these states. I'm going to say it again. You are creating from these states. An '05 study of the University of Pennsylvania analyzed 164 eighth grade students. They measured IQ, other factors, including willpower. The results were students who exerted high levels of willpower were more likely to earn higher grades in their classes and gain admission into more selective schools. They had fewer absences and spent less time watching television and more hours on homework. Hear me, self-discipline has a bigger effect on academic performance than does intellectual talent. Hear me, that willpower is an intentional creation and summoning of thoughts that I'm going to do something, I'm going to accomplish something. And this study showed it's not about how smart you are, but it's about the kind of focused, direct, intense thoughts that you aim, utilize, or exert in any circumstance or situation. I want you to hear me. The best way to strengthen willpower and give students a leg up, studies indicate, was to make it a habit. This is from the book, The Power of Habit by Charles Duhigg. And he ends by saying, willpower is a learnable skill. It is a learnable skill. It goes on to talk about mental habits. Type it in the comment section, mental habits. Mental habits. Listen to this. Listen to this. Thoughts don't necessarily manifest into behavior. And before I continue sharing this is true. The thoughts that create are the ones that we think consistently and persistently and add emotion, conviction to it. Single or multiple thoughts or patterns help shape character and emotions. Single or multiple thoughts and patterns help shape character and emotions. These beliefs become personal laws or personal philosophies. If you think something enough, again, without challenging it, I'm going to say this again because this is just lost in terms of higher laws, spiritual principles, higher dimensional thinking, higher dimensional manifestation, higher dimensional activities. One thing I'm going to talk about, and I'm going to give away the subject this afternoon while I'm speaking. I had to bring an illustration of in the message. At some point in time, I will talk about the multiple dimensions, not in detail. It has been noted by some scientists that the brain can decipher, discern at least 11 dimensions. They used to think it was just 3 or 4 dimensions, but it's higher than that. The spiritual, mystical teachers have been teaching that there are a whole lot more dimensions than that. But I bring this up to say that a person who is operating from the 10th dimension has a totally different mindset, a totally different awareness, a totally different existence than a person who's operating on the 2nd dimension. I want you to hear what I'm saying today. Who and what they are on the 10th dimension is totally different than who and what the person is who operates from the 2nd dimension. And as a matter of fact, if the 10-dimensional person shows up in the 2-dimensional thinking or the 2-dimensional world of a 2-dimensional thinker, the 2-dimensional thinker would think that the 10-dimensional person is a god, number one, and number two, will not be able to absorb all that the 10-dimensional person has to offer. They won't even be able to see or recognize the vastness of the person that they are communicating with. Lord have mercy, somebody hear me. Let me go on. You are what you think. You are who you think you are based on thoughts. And again, hear me. I have learned to understand that I am an observer of thoughts. But as an observer of thoughts, as soon as I choose these thoughts with a conviction, then it becomes absorbed into me and becomes a part of me. Hear me. Understand, again, you are who you think you are based on thoughts. Integrous people or people with integrity have thoughts of integrity. Honest people have thoughts of honesty. Selfish people have thoughts of being selfish. Unselfish people have unselfish thoughts. Proud people have proud thoughts. Stubborn people are constantly filled with thoughts of stubbornness. Did you catch this? Charles Reed is responsible for this quote that is quoted a lot, and I got to get off here. Sow an act and you reap a habit. Sow a habit and you reap a character. Sow character and you reap a destiny. So I want you to understand and recognize in this moment as I prepare to sign off and go to this engagement today, that you are in the driver's seat of your life based on what you are thinking, based on how you are thinking. Hear me today. Hear me today. And at some point in time, I'm going to I'm going to allow myself to be led by the divine, but I am going to uh, we're going to do some teaching first on shifting, as I've shared with you before. But I'm going to do a manifestation challenge right now while I'm talking. Right now while I'm talking, there are people who are listening to me who are saying, "I want better in every category or area of my life." There's somebody who's watching me right now who's thinking, my income, is time for it to increase. You're thinking it's time for your career to expand. You're thinking it's time for your ministry to grow. You're thinking it's time for love to blossom and bloom in your life. Good. But how you think about those things determines how it is manifested in your life. The destiny that you live will manifest or be carved out into this experience based on how you think and believe concerning it. I want you to understand, and I want you to begin to embrace, and I want you to begin to recognize that as you exercise more authority, more control over your thoughts, over what you're thinking, you are immediately beginning to make an impact on your mentality, on your physiology, on your biology, on your physical construct. The world around you will start adapting and coming into congruence with the world that exists inside of you. But it begins with the challenge of learning to master or mastering thoughts. And therefore, we will then from there master habits. My Lord, I sense something here today. Let me pray. Let me pray. I'll have more in a couple of days. And Almighty, I just thank you for this time with my family, my spiritual family. Let the word resonate deeply in their hearts, these truths, so that they would know, understand, and recognize that when they master their thoughts and habits, a life will be lived of joy, peace, and success, fulfillment. It's not based strictly on you, Almighty. It's not based on some sinister figure, but it's based on us. You have made us like you. You have enabled us to think, to imagine, to speak, to create, to co-create, to co-manifest. We are a powerful, dynamic God species. And I pray that somebody who's watching me can relate, that it resonates, and that they embrace what you have spoken, what you have uttered in concert, in partnership with me today. Oh, I sense this so strong. The disillusion of despair, I declare and decree it right now. The disillusion of a poverty mindset, of a victim mindset, of a victim mentality, even now. The deconstruction of trauma. It's begun now in somebody's heart and in somebody's life. And I declare and decree in a knowingness that it is so. And so it is. Thank you, Bishop. Your power, your nature, your nurture, your consciousness. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Come on, celebrate, family. I want you to begin to celebrate even now in this moment. Your thinking is becoming clearer. Hear me. Your thinking is becoming clearer. Your thinking is shifting and changing posture. Even right now, as I speak, some of your thoughts have already been stimulated to embrace a new way of thinking, a new way of being, a new way of doing. It's already begun. We've leveled up. I received at least 3 testimonials last week from people who have leveled up, family. At least 3 testimonials of people who've leveled up since we leveled up that particular Sunday. Y'all remember, some of y'all remember that Sunday. Money, family, is manifesting. Opportunities are manifesting. All right. What is that saying that I told y'all to say? Hillary, what is that saying that I told you to say? Put it in the comment section for us. What is that saying? I think that was a Wednesday night. I challenged people to say that, or a Sunday. Some of you all start saying it, and good news start coming your way. My God, I sense it so strong. I sense it so strong. Don't go back. Don't go downward. Don't spiral downward. Continue to evolve, transform, and to ascend. That's right. All kinds of testimonies are coming my way. Good news is coming my way. That's what I told people to say. Good news is coming my way. I encourage them to say it every day. Sometimes you have to understand, you think this is just a saying, and I'm almost done, family. When I give you these mantras or affirmations to speak, family, they're not just merely words. They're words that either you give life or death to. If you give life to this word, family, then you're going to see it come to fruition, bring forth fruit in your own personal life. Something as simply as speaking with the mouth, creating, manifesting. Good news is coming my way. Good news is coming my way today. Good news is coming my way today. Just saying it every day, so many times a day. Watch. I dare you to say it. I dared a couple of people, and some people try to consistently, and good news start coming. That's how powerful you are. It begins with the thoughts. Instead of expecting bad news, negative news, evil news, expect good news. Declare and decree it. Good news. Hallelujah. Glory to God. I got to get off here. I want you to give as you are able to give in terms of your donations today. I thank those who sow and give into my life and into this work. This is a work that I am declaring and decreeing is constantly expanding. And your gift offerings help me to do that, as well as help to continue to bring this kind of teaching, and whatever return God in this wonderful universe multiplies back to you, because you're operating in a principle of reciprocity. There it is on the screen, $AG Green Enterprises, $AG Green, or use PayPal as well. All right, I'm headed to the next service, and I'm going to put that link up. And I think there's some of y'all that's going to want to watch that service. It will be up on the AG Green Now channel. All right, it will be up on the Facebook page, the link where I am heading to speak right now. All right, I'm releasing you with the shalom blessing. Shalom, shalom, peace, wholeness, and prosperity. Nothing missing and nothing broken. It is so, and so it is. Love you so dearly. See many of you all in a few minutes or in a few days. Enjoy this big sports day, and I shall and will see you soon.